Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. So for today's video, I'm going to do half my face drugstore, half my face with high-end. I don't have like a big variety of high-end stuff, but what I do have, I think I do have every category of high-end except for like brow gel and setting spray, but I do have a a comparison.
Maybe like I have a dupe of one of them that I used to have and I really love.
So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Like I said, this is going to be the video. I hope you guys really do enjoy it, and if you're ready to see how this turns out, just keep watching. Okay, so we are all nice and close, and my hair is really big, but you can't see that. Anyway, what I'm gonna start off with is brows, and this side of my face is gonna be high-end. This is drugstore, but for my high-end brows, I'm gonna use the Brow Microfiling Pen by Benefit. I've had this for a really long time and I used to always use it, but it kind of dried out, but now it's working fine. But this is the only brow product that I think I really ever had high-end. But I am gonna do the side of my face. I'm not that much of a fan anymore of like the pens. I really do like, you know, a pomade or a powder, but you know, I really did like this for a really long time, and you know, I do like it. It's just I prefer my pomades and powders still. And on the drugstore side, I have the L'Oreal Micro Ink pen. It is a little bit of a different pen, and I have reviewed this on my channel before. But I mean, I think I got this for a dupe for the Benefit brow one, but let's see how it kind of turns out today. And there is my brow for the drugstore side. I think they look honestly just so similar. I mean, I don't think there's a big difference. So if you do like the Benefit microfilling pen and you do want like sort of a dupe for it, the L'Oreal Micro Ink pen, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this one is really good. Oh my gosh. The tips of them are a little different. This one is more defined in the tip, but this one's more of just has little cutouts for them. I'm gonna do a really simple eye look, so I'm gonna actually do my face and then I'm gonna jump into my eyes. So for primer on my drugstore side, I actually have the Maybelline Master Prime Primer Base. This is a Hydrate and Smooth. Oh my gosh, absolutely love this primer. It's so good. I've used it for like a really long time, and it just like hydrates the skin so well. I just absolutely love it. It's kind of hard just to like do only one side of my face because I'm so used to just smearing it all over. If I make a little mistakes, just expect that. And then for the high-end side, I actually have the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Primer. This one is really hydrating too. I really love this one. I think this one gives off like, oh my gosh, it's already coming out, a little bit of a tint. Let me see. No, it's pretty good. This one is, I think, a little bit more hydrating, but I mean, they work really, really good. Very similar. So anyway, just like I said, they're both really hydrating. This one dries down a little bit. This one stays kind of dewy. But I mean, overall, they are just really good hydrating primers, and I love them both. I have two hydrating foundations. This one is for the drugstore side. This is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I have used this before. I really love it. It's not a full coverage foundation, but it does give some color to the skin, and I really do like it. We're gonna do the Wet n Wild side, so the drugstore side first, and I'm actually gonna try and use two different sides so it doesn't really mix together, but this just gives such like a nice finish, and especially with that primer, it just gives such a dewy, beautiful finish. So I really love this, and I do recommend it. And I think it's maybe $3 or $4. I don't even think it's $5, honestly. All right, and for the high-end side, this is the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Primer. So this is actually really like hydrating, like it said. So I definitely love this one too. It's amazing. And I'm going to use the tip of my sponge to blend this out. I'm hoping they're kind of the same color, so it's not totally obviously different, but you know, I do like how this one, yeah, it does have a lot of coverage, but if you want to make it like a medium coverage, you can. Just don't put as much on, and it can just kind of make a thin layer, and that's what I like to do with this. So yeah, these are the two foundations, and they're both really, really good, and they're both hydrating. I love hydrating stuff, so this is what I do recommend. All right, next is concealer. For the drugstore side, I love this concealer. It's the Wet n Wild Incognito concealer. This is one of my all-time favorite concealers. I just absolutely love it, and I'll just put a little bit on. I'm more of like, you know, less is more nowadays, so I, you know, really do love that concealer. I don't know if I'm gonna get enough spaces on this beauty blender, so I'm just gonna use one beauty sponge. I'm sorry if it mixes a little bit. It shouldn't like mix terribly, but for the high-end side, I have the Rare Beauty concealer. This one is really hydrating. It's not so full coverage, but it gives you enough coverage, you know, and I really love it. Well, they're definitely not the same color, but I think they're like both hydrating, got some coverage, not too full coverage. This one's a little bit more full coverage, but they're both really good. I blended on my eye too, of course, for like a eye primer. I'm gonna take it down the nose, and I am gonna switch over the beauty sponge to do the Rare Beauty side. Okay, so that is both of the concealers. Obviously you can see they blended out really, really nicely, and it's basically looks like they're the same thing, honestly. So I mean, if you want to get the Rare Beauty or the Wet n Wild's one, of course it's the price difference, but I think they're really, really similar, and I absolutely love them both. I would, you know, choose either one. All right, let's go to our powder. I'm really actually liking the Essence Brightening Powder for the drugstore side. This is only a couple dollars, and I really, really love it. I am gonna like, you know, set this a little bit, take all the creases out, but this is the drugstore side, and I just take a little bit because it is a little bit lighter, and just kind of pack it underneath my eye and on my eyelid. I love this powder. It just gives a nice brightening finish, and I absolutely love it. And now for the high-end side, I'm not much of a high-end powder person, so I bought this KVD. This was going on sale. I think they were like changing the name or something like that. So I don't know if they still have this, but this is one I do have. This is the Lock-It Powder Foundation. I have Fair 01. I don't know why I thought this was my color. I don't know. So it is really, really bright for me, but I am just going to do like a thin layer underneath my eye. Yeah, it's just really white, but we can, you know, darken it up with some of our face powder. I just need to get a little bit underneath my eye. Anyway, but this is the high-end powder. I would honestly, like, hands down choose this one. I just feel like it does give me a little bit more of a smoother finish. But I mean, I don't know if this is still out, but I do like it. I just think I need a different color. For the face part, for the drugstore side, because I do like to do a little bit more of a brighter under eye and then just set this with my actual color. On the drugstore side, I have the Super Stay Full Coverage Maybelline Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Natural Beige, and I really, really like this one. This isn't exactly my color, but it is a lot darker than the, you know, other one. And I'm going to use this brush to set it. And this one just gives me such a smooth finish, guys. Like, this is so beautiful. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but it's really beautiful. And I do like to go in and wipe it underneath my eye, just so if it's too bright, we can kind of tone it down, and that's what I'm going to do on this side. And now for the high-end side, this is a sample, but this is the Hello Happy Velvet Powder Foundation from Benefit. I love this powder. This is definitely like a really, really, really good powder. I have just never been able to get the full-size one. I've always just had the small one, but I really do like it, and it's just really, really good. So I'm going to use a different brush for this. Just powder it all up and just set the rest of my face. Like I said, I'm going to go underneath my eye a little bit just to kind of, you know, deepen it up a little bit.
All right.
Now that our powder is all done, it's looking great. The skin is looking really good. Obviously the side's a little bit brighter, but it's not too bad. I actually am going to go in with a little bit more of the essence and kind of like you know, lighten up my under eye just because I want them to be as even as possible. Next, for bronzer, for the drugstore side, you can't even read this because I use it so much. This is the LA Colors bronzer. I got this from Five and Below. It is so good, and it's such a big pan. Like, look at this pan. It is amazing, and I absolutely love it. It goes on really smooth, and it's not super pigmented where it's just gonna like bam in your face. It gradually goes, so it definitely is a buildable bronzer, and I absolutely love it. It's just amazing. Look at this, you know, bronze look. I'm gonna do it on the nose too. The chin, or jawline. It's not my chin. So I really do recommend this bronzer. It's really good, and you get so much. This was $5 at Five Below, and you get so much product. It's just amazing, amazing. All right, and for the high-end side, like I said, I don't spend a lot of money on, you know, high-end stuff, but when I do, I did get the sample of the Bare Minerals bronzer. It's just, it looks like this. It's a sample. It's just a little tiny one. I think it's the shade Warmth. Maybe they have a bigger size of it if you do, you know, like it. But I love this bronzer too. I did go in a phase where this was like the only thing I was wearing. So this one's also very natural and very buildable. Hopefully they're kind of the same color. I think it has a hint of shimmer in it. Like, it's enough where I'm like, does it have shimmer? But it does have a little bit of shimmer. I'm gonna put it on my nose, and it has a little bit of smell. It smells good, but just has this smell. And there is my bronzer. This one's a little bit warmer than this one, but they're both really good bronzers. I would definitely recommend them both, but if I had to choose one, I would definitely pick this one just because I just really love the way it like looks on my skin, and it's the perfect bronzer for me. So all right, for blush, this is probably one of my all-time favorite blushes, is the BH Vanilla Cream Truffle blush palette. It just gives you like 4, you know, colors, and I really do like it. So I'm gonna take my brush and just, you know, swirl it around once. You definitely have to pat this off because these are so pigmented. And I'm just going to pat this right here on my cheekbone, just going up. See, it's so pigmented. Like, I don't want to keep going, but I want to. I feel like I'm barely tapping it, like I'm doing this, and it's so pigmented. So this is definitely a favorite in my collection. This is like amazing. Okay, so for the high-end blush, I really like all of the Benefit blushes right here. This one's Rockstar. It's a little bit of a deeper blush with a little bit of shimmer, but I think all of their blushes are really good. The blushes are just really good. They're not as pigmented as the BH one because definitely I'm digging in my thing and not even tapping any off. I'm just like stamping it on there, and you know, it's not giving me as much color as my BH one, but you know, it is good. I like it. I would definitely choose my BH one over my... I wanted to show you guys. I would definitely choose it over this one because it just doesn't seem as pigmented. Or maybe even this Tarte blush. This is in the shade Party. This one's really good. Hopefully I can get it a little bit closer to that, but this one's really good too. I might try and use some of this one because this one's just not giving me the... Oh my gosh, that one's so powdery.
Like, I don't know what's going on. That one's really powdery.
Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, this one's very bright. This is California. This is what, you know, the packaging will look like on the outside. Let me try this. Let me try it because we need a good pigmented, you know, blush. Okay, that one I think is pretty good. It's not as pigmented, obviously, as the BH one, but it does give some color. And they are really shimmery, so of course there's a lot more shimmer than this one. But I, you know, love them both. I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I feel like it's uneven now. So now that we've got the blush, the Benefit ones, I would definitely choose BH 100% over the Benefit ones because these are just so much more pigmented, and there's like, you get 4 of them probably for the price of one, and they're just like amazing. Like, look at those, look at that, just look at that, it's just beautiful. So moving on to highlighter, my drugstore highlighter is definitely got to be my Wet n Wild one. This one's so beautiful, so pigmented, and I love it. I'll make it glow. See, look how the beautiful like hints of highlights. Anyway, and for the high-end highlight, this is the only high-end highlight I have. This is the Aurora, It's this one right here. It's from Anastasia, and I mean, it just broke on me. Broke. This is still like one of the only high-end palettes I have, but I am gonna use maybe like a little bit of this one that's broken. I'm gonna use a different highlighting brush. I don't know what brush to use. I'm just gonna use this one right here. Dip a little bit into that. I know there's like a lot more better high-end blush, highlighters, but this is the one I have at the moment. I'm just gonna stick this one down the middle of my nose and right here, but I definitely prefer the Wet n Wild one over this one. But like I said, you know, you might like this, and I do like it for very intense ones because it does have like blue, green, purple, you know, so highlights you wouldn't really use, but yeah, I like it. Okay, next we're gonna like do some eyeshadow, and for my drugstore side, I'm gonna do a very simple look, just maybe like a crease color and a lid color. For like a total matte like eyeshadow palette, the Profusion Mattes is really, really good. Look how many colors you get in this matte. It's extremely good. I love it. So I'm just gonna do like probably this brown color, and then just stick a little bit of this white on the lid just to give like a nice soft look. So I'm just gonna do that really quickly, and then get back to you after I'm done. Alright, and then for the high-end palette, this is the Kylie Jenner one. I don't know exactly which one this is called, but it does look like this. But I am just gonna use a little bit of rose and then just stick buttermilk just on my lid. I feel like the Profusion one, it's like they have the same mattes in them, and it's just amazing. So I'm just gonna stick that, of course, in my, you know, the crease and on the lid. And I'm using different brushes, not so I don't, you know, mix them up. So they are completely different brushes. Alright, and there's the finished eye looks. I think they're both really good. Of course, you get a lot more eyeshadows than this one than this, but I mean, you do get a couple shimmers with hers, and you know, Profusion does have like other, you know, palettes. This is just strictly mattes. But I think they both are really, really good. Of course, they're like almost similar. Like, I don't really see a difference in my eyeshadow, honestly. Like, they're spot on colors, I feel like. So if you do want like a really good, you know, mattes that's affordable, this one's really good. But if you do want to splurge a little bit, Kylie does have some pretty good eyeshadows. She does have a lot of fallout in them, and so does Profusion, but I mean, they work really good, both of them. And now for the rest of my face, this is one of the categories that I don't have a high-end like setting spray with me, but I did have one, and the Rare Beauty setting spray was really, really good. I would consider this Maybelline Glass Spray. This is a dewy finish one. This is going to be my drugstore setting spray, but I consider this a dupe for the Rare Beauty one. And I'm actually just going to set my whole face with this, just because I don't have the Rare Beauty one. But if you do want an alternative, like a high-end one, for this one, I would definitely choose the Rare Beauty, because I've tried them both and I feel like they're just as similar. So I'm just going to set my face with all of this today. This one makes the makeup, if you feel dry or you need shine, like look at me. I feel like I'm already a little too shiny. This is definitely it for you guys. Like, this is a brand new bottle. I just finished my other one and I got this one. But usually sometimes I'll put this on like after, like as my skincare, if I need like a nice oil, because this one's, I feel like just has so much oil in it, and the Rare Beauty one does too. So I don't know. So I am gonna go with my damp beauty sponge and kind of just pat it out, because it just can get a little dewy. All right, so now that we're done with that, we're gonna move on to the eyelashes and everything else in that area. I don't have a brow gel for you guys, so I'm not gonna do anything, but I mean, like, I just don't use brow gel. If I do with the e.l.f. one, that's like $2. I am definitely going to be using my e.l.f. Lash Primer Mascara, just because any mascara, it's really difficult for me to take off my lashes, and this lash primer just helps. I'm just throwing everything. This one definitely does help take off any mascara I have, so I don't have to sit there and scrub my eyelashes. So I am going to use this on both my lashes. But for the drugstore side, I love the Rimmel Scandalous Scandal Eyes Retro Glam. This is what it looks like. This is a couple dollars at Walmart. This is really, really good. And I feel like it is kind of a dupe for the high-end one I have. This is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I would also say that the Lash Paradise one is really good, but this is a couple dollars and I feel like this is really, really good. So I'm doing the drugstore side first. And next to the high end, I'm gonna use the Tarte one. And I am gonna do my bottom lashes because I'm not gonna put a, you know, eyeshadow on the bottom, so I'm just gonna quickly do the bottom. Alright, and there is my mascara. I feel like they basically look maybe identical. This one's a little bit more chunkier than this one. I think it's the brushes. This one's like a very thick hourglass. It's a very thick hourglass shape, and it does get kind of chunky, so you might have to wipe some of it off. But this one is like, I think, a natural bristle. It's very skinny and has really no shape to it. But I think that's what helps give the volume. But I mean, this is only a couple dollars. And I honestly think they could be like dupes for each other because look at my lashes. I mean, I think they're almost similar. And I always am like, well, if I don't want to use this one, I'm like, I usually gravitate towards this one. But, you know, I love them both. And I think they're both really, really good. Right? And I think last is just lips. Honestly, guys, I usually throw on a lip balm. I rarely, if I'm not filming a video, I do not do my lips at all. I throw on a chapstick or a lip balm. So, I'm just gonna like just throw on some lip gloss. So on the drugstore side, I have the e.l.f. one. This is in the shade Mauve Glitz. I really do like this one since I mean, what I have used of it. So I'm just gonna stick this on this one half of my lips. These are two that I have used before. I just don't wear a lot of lip gloss. And this is a mini, but this is the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine. This is in the shade Naked. It's a very mini. It's a mini. But I've used this and I actually really do like it also. So I'm just gonna stick some right here. I honestly didn't think they were gonna be that similar. I thought I was gonna have two different lips. Oh my gosh, I think they're almost similar, guys. That looks crazy. They don't look similar on here, but I mean, they're almost similar. Wow, that's crazy. I rarely wear much lips, but you know, if I do, I think this is one I have used a lot more, and I have used this e.l.f. one maybe quite a bit if I do a look, but I do like both of them. Alright guys, and that is it for this video. Let me give you a close-up. So this is the high-end side. This is the drugstore side. I honestly really can't see a difference. I think they look so similar, and I mean, it looks like I just did a full face. Maybe this side's a little bit brighter because of that really light powder that I just thought was my shade and it's not. But I think it is pretty similar, and you know, if you saw anything on this side, I think it's pretty much a dupe. I honestly do. Like, I like both sides. And I love it. I honestly prefer my drugstore side just because, you know, I can go back and repurchase them easily just because I don't have to spend a lot of money. So I do love it. Let me know how you guys liked it. Tell me if you liked this. Tell me which side you like better. I mean, I want to know. I think I prefer a little bit more of the drugstore. I feel like it's, I don't know. I like them both. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you like below, and if you have any video suggestions, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!